Unraveling confidence, Democrats alarmed by Biden's reelection woes. A pervasive sense of fear has settled in at the highest levels of the Democratic Party over President Joe Biden's reelection prospects, even among office holders and strategists who had previously expressed confidence about the coming battle with Donald Trump. Throughout 2023, Democrats have experienced a relentless and draining push towards the 2024 election. With less than 5 months remaining until Election Day, the anxiety among party leaders and operatives has intensified into a tangible dread. This sentiment, revealed by more than a dozen party insiders, has led to a widening gap between public assurances and private admissions of concern regarding Biden's chances. You don't want to be that guy who is on the record saying we're doomed, or the campaign's bad, or Biden's making mistakes. Nobody wants to be that guy, said a Democratic operative closely connected to the White House, speaking anonymously to preserve candidness. He added that Biden's persistently poor polling and the high stakes of the election are creating the freakout. This isn't, oh my God, Mitt Romney might become president. It's, oh my God, the democracy might end. Despite Biden's efforts, Trump is leading in most battleground states and has significantly outperformed Biden in fundraising, particularly with a notable surge in April. This scenario may deteriorate further for Democrats as Trump's hush money trial concludes and another involving Hunter Biden commences in Delaware. The concern has grown as Trump has campaigned in traditionally liberal areas like New Jersey and New York, targeting Hispanic and Black voters with improbable claims of victory in those regions. Although Trump lags behind Biden in cash reserves, his fundraising outpaced the president's by $25 million in April, including a record-setting $50.5 million event in Palm Beach, Florida. An advisor to major Democratic donors has compiled a comprehensive list of nearly 24 reasons why Biden could lose, including issues such as immigration, high inflation, Biden's age, the unpopularity of Vice President Kamala Harris, and the presence of third-party candidates like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Donors ask me on an hourly basis about what I think, the advisor noted, emphasizing the ease of showing them the list while pouring a drink. The advisor added, "The list of why we could win is so small, I don't even need to keep the list on my phone." On the day after news broke about Biden trailing Trump in fundraising, Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey emphasized the need for more financial support during a fundraiser with Biden. The event in Boston, expected to raise over $6 million, saw Healey urging donors to give more, stressing the critical stakes of the upcoming election. There have been few moments during Biden's presidency that haven't faced scrutiny, with his aides often downplaying dire predictions by collecting headlines and clips underestimating the president. Biden campaign aides and allies highlight some positive polls and Trump's comparative lack of campaign infrastructure in key states. A Biden campaign advisor, also granted anonymity, argued that the campaign's focus is on defending democracy and addressing economic issues rather than being distracted by Trump's publicity stunts. Trump's photo ops and PR stunts may get under the skin of some very serious DC people as compelling campaigning, but they will do nothing to win over the voters that will decide this election, Biden campaign spokesperson Kevin Munoz told Politico. Munoz emphasized that their daily efforts in battleground states, both on the ground and through media, aim to showcase Biden's fight for the middle class against corporate greed and Trump's controversial agenda, which they believe will secure the White House. Optimistic Biden supporters prefer his position over Trump's, focusing on issues like abortion and reproductive rights as crucial rallying points. Michigan Democrat Representative Dan Kildee described abortion as a fundamental game changer, arguing for a campaign that contrasts Biden's progressive vision with Trump's regressive policies. However, some Democratic critics argue that while abortion should be a winning issue, the campaign currently lacks the vigor and direction needed to capitalize on it effectively. Longtime Democratic strategist Pete Jangreco criticized the current campaign strategy, warning that simply contrasting Biden's and Trump's terms may not be enough to secure victory. In Michigan, Democratic State Representative Lori Pohutsky expressed concern about Biden's weak standing and the inability of down-ballot Democrats to rely on his coattails in November. She noted a lack of urgency among young voters, who might not remember the chaos of the early Trump administration, thus reducing their motivation to vote. Despite significant campaign activity, including $25 million in swing state ad spending, Biden's job approval rating has barely budged, standing at 38.4% as of the end of May, up slightly from 38.1% in early March. His standing against Trump remains similarly stagnant, with Trump holding a slight lead in national polls. Munoz reiterated that the campaign's success would ultimately be determined by Election Day results. Trump, meanwhile, has begun targeting traditionally blue states, heightening Democratic concerns. Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine warned about the growing support for Trump among New Yorkers, including people of color, urging New York Democrats to be more vigilant. Biden's weaker polling in New York, revealed by a Siena College poll, showed him leading Trump by only 9 points, a significant drop from the 23-point lead he had 4 years ago. Biden's unpopularity among various demographics, except black voters, has prompted his campaign to release ads in New York ahead of a Trump rally. Levine likened the current situation to the 2022 gubernatorial race, where Democrats had to scramble in the final weeks to secure victory. This cycle, Democrats face additional challenges such as the ongoing war in Ukraine and the conflict between Israel and Hamas, which have divided their ranks and contributed to a sense of disarray. New York Democrat Representative Richie Torres emphasized that inflation remains Biden's greatest political challenge, urging the president to focus on affordability issues and highlight successes like capping insulin costs. He pointed out that Trump's competitiveness, despite his controversial nature, signals deeper issues within the political landscape. Trump's criticisms of blue state officials, including New York's justice system and California's Democratic leadership, have been part of his campaign strategy. His family and supporters have held events in these states to emphasize their failures, further escalating the political tensions. In California, Trump's upcoming fundraiser in San Francisco, hosted by prominent tech figures, reflects the changing political dynamics in traditionally Democratic strongholds. The event underscores the growing discontent among some tech leaders with the state's policies, highlighting issues like homelessness and crime. As Democrats brace for Trump's aggressive campaigning, they face a critical period of introspection and mobilization. The election's outcome will hinge on their ability to address pressing issues, galvanize their base, and effectively counter Trump's populist appeal. With the stakes higher than ever, the party must navigate these turbulent times with strategic clarity and resolve to secure a second term for President Biden.